Hello, and welcome to what I hope to be a new thing I can do on my videos. Once in a while, play a video game or two. See how this works. Not 100% sure if this is working or not, so I don't know if you're seeing this or not. And if you're not, then all you're seeing is my desktop with all my icons hidden, so you can't identify me. Wow, this is buggy a little bit. So, for those who don't know what XCom is, it's just a turn-based game where you do have like economics you have to deal with at any given time. I'm doing the Long War mod, and I'm still trying to get used to it, trying to get things, understand how things work, taking it slow, I guess. So I'll probably restart every now and then, but as you can see, a lot of people don't like me right now, or at least are afraid of the alien incursion. So, all right. So, today I will be talking about male feminists, also known as manginas. Now, manginas, or male, well, recently the honey badgers talked about doing about white knights and why they do what they do. You might recognize some of these names. I'll leave it to you to figure out where I got some of these names from. But wow, they're actually all girls too. That was completely by accident. Here, I'll show you. This is my current roster, and as you can see, I don't have that many people available for the active roster. So I had to pull some of my people from some are from the fatigue list, which I'm not really supposed to pull from that, but I do because I need them. And these are some of my higher ranked people, but I try to get through them as quick as possible. So this wasn't done deliberately. This is just what was available for me. Oh, let me add the unit again. All right, so the honey badgers. Oh, hold on. There we go. The honey badgers talked on this subject about white knighting and all of that, but I don't think that's the only reason why men become part of the feminist movement. I might have to disable sound from these from now on. Who knows? So laggy, but can I really blame it? Once this gets started, it'll be a little bit easier for me to talk back and forth. This is a brand new experience for me. I've never done anything like this before. Normally, well, a few months ago, I wasn't even playing video games because it was just too much for me to do. But I decided that I couldn't live my life anymore on what I can't do. I've got to just try to push myself to do the things that I love despite how much it hurts. And the game might have crashed right here, so there we go.
Brazilian authorities have requested our help, so that's where we're going next. It looks like a UFO landed out in the boonies. We need to secure
Out in the boonies. Okay, so now we're going to see how this actually goes for us. Maybe I should load it up here first before starting the video, but oh well. By the way, if you're curious about the colors, there is a rhyme and reason to the colors, also the helmets as well.
Roger that, big sky. Strike one. We're green to deploy. Approach with extreme caution. Current enemy status at the site is unknown.
Did you land me next to the UFO? Holy shit. It's so rare that I see that. All right, so I don't know if I can really do this mission. All right, so let me go ahead and go into the introduction first. I'm sorry I'm wasting your time on this. All right, so I don't think that men becoming feminists is because of white knighting. Now, white knighting is that men think that women need to be protected, that they need a man to come in and save them. I think it's one of the common reasons why men do it, but those men more or less come onto it on their own. There is a group of men that do it because they're guilt into it. And for those individuals, they're good people wanting to do good things. Here, let me move this away. I'm sure that's getting loud. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this microphone properly. So these men are more or less guilt into becoming a feminist. Usually the tactic by feminists is, well, you support that men and women should be equal, right? Well, yeah. Well, then you're a feminist. I'm going to turn down my sound a bit so I can not so distracted by it. And then they're lumped into this group that basically tries to make them feel guilty for having being men, basically. Like, well, you have privilege, and if you're not with us, you're against us, and you're a misogynist. But in the end, it's like anything you do, you're going to be this bad thing. And the only way that you can I just need to apologize for that. The only way that they can not be a misogynist and not be against women's rights is by basically doing what women want them to do. I don't think it's so much white knighting as it is just they're coerced into supporting women's rights. That they do really want equality for men and women. But the moment feminists get their claws in them, all of a sudden they're being a victim, honestly. Feminism gets their claws in them, and they're now the victims of the feminist movement. Feminism is trying to use their good nature against them. That's an interesting place for the core. Probably one of several cores. And I feel for these men. You know, I understand the need to want to be there for women, to know that they have struggles and a history where they've been fighting against what they perceived as the patriarchy. But then they're also dealing with propaganda. Looks like there's a hole in the top here. That's interesting. But they're dealing with propaganda of, well, you know, you can only listen to the facts that we give you. You can't listen to any of these other facts. And if you do, you have misogyny. Now, these are the same tactics that women will use against other women. And one of the best ones that they have is what they call eternalized misogyny. That even if you're not, if you say anything bad about a woman as a woman, you're actually, I should just move them all the way to the front. You have eternalized misogyny, that you deep down you hate women, and that's the only reason why you can say anything bad about a woman, is because you have this internalized hatred of women. I know this is pretty boring right now. You want to get to the action, but I've got to move these slowly because this is the Long War mod, and the Long War mod basically makes the game substantially harder, but it also gives me a lot more options, unlike the vanilla version of the game. And one of the key things that it did was give me like 8 different classes to play with rather than the standard 4. And from that, I built like 18 classes from that. So basically subclasses. All right. So right now, I got to take this slowly. I can't just be rushing in and trying to dominate. I could do that, but then I'll get killed. So even this, what I'm doing is probably a bad strategy. I should just drive one of my shivs in, find some enemies, and then come out and let them come to me. But I don't know. I kind of want to explore a bit, get my ass handed to me while you watch me play this. You know, because it's more fun that way. All right, so all right, about to get inside. That didn't sound good. There is no reason why I'm playing XCom in reference to this video. It's just the game I'm happen to be playing right now. Okay, got some enemies, and then they quickly disappeared. That was fun. Well, there you go. Bunch of stealth units that will try to choke me to death. Jesus. Well, let's go ahead and take care of this. Bullshit. Okay, who brought the battle scanner? Oh, shit. No one did. Well, this is going to end very, very badly. We're just going to put everyone on an Overwatch because when those things come out, I'm going to like need them. All right, so I think that these are people that would be part of the men's rights movement if they were given proper information. And I think many of them become men's rights activists when they realize that the thing that they were supporting is actually against them. While other the guys of, oh, well, we've been supporting you all along, when it's actually not true. It would be great if feminism did care more about men, but it simply doesn't. It's not about doing that. Too low of percentage. I'm going to move these units out because they're at the disadvantage. See what I mean? But until they can take the red pill and see what things are, they're kind of under the control of women, of feminists. And I truly want to believe that their interest is pure, that they really want to help. They want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Bam! Of course, all of their shots just got wasted on that, so I guess this will be good that it's short, so you don't have to watch me do this whole thing. By the way, the countries was something I can't change, so when I name units, I didn't care about what country they were from. So this is an important lesson in XCOM Long War. Always bring a battle scanner. And I think that's the reason why what we do with men's rights, the MRA, the Voice for Men, MGTOW. Yes, even MGTOW. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of MGTOW, but I do feel that they serve an important role within the movement. But it's important in even the honey badgers. It's important that we're out there because we need to spread the information about all of this. Information that many men are not getting and having to deal with feminists lying about the information. See, come on. There we go. All right, let's put everyone else in Overwatch and deal with the other onslaught that's going to come and attack them. Yeah, this is very hard to do. Concentrate on a game that requires my direct attention all the time and talk about an issue. And I guess I pretty much said what I need to say on the subject, but some of these units I can't really move. I won't reload them. Come on and attack me. Ooh, there we go. Die. This is why men need video games. Hell, this is why women need video games. This is a very exciting game, especially with the Long War mod. I mean, it completely revamps the entire game. A lot of people need to reload. So, no, reload her rather. My best unit is Captain Church, who's a sniper, unlike the actual Church. He is rather effective. He's the highest rank, and earning rank is harder in this as well. Son of a bitch! I love snipers in this game. So it's important that these groups are doing what they're doing, because without them, the dissemination of misinformation would still be rampant and nothing would really stand in their way. Now, it still happens, and there's not much we can do about that except trying to be out there and trying to talk and give people the information that they're lacking in society. I recently had a Tumblr post where I asked women, or specifically feminists, how would you know that, oh, these units I hate. Stupid lightning reflexes. How would you know that you have the rights that you think you don't have? And I've only gotten one response to it so far, but what that person stated kind of interested me. One of the things that they mentioned was the fact that what they mentioned was equal representation in Congress. 50% women and 50% men. I guess now I'm talking about other things, but see, that is an incorrect thing to want. I mean, people are entitled to their opinion, but this is one of the few times where a person's opinion is wrong. The reason I say this is because even if you got 50% men and 50% women, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to represent the values that you have. It'd be great if they did, but when someone is elected, they're elected for their politics, not what's between their legs. And yet this person feels that equality is measured in representation of genitals and not representation of politics. And that is a fundamentally flawed concept. And that tells me that they don't actually know what they want or what they're fighting for. That they're simply told, oh, well, there's not an equal representation of women within Congress, so we have to fight so women can be in there. A point that I made in an article is that we could have a president that gave everything that women wanted as far as perceived freedoms that they don't have. And at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter in the end because he's a man. And the reason that is the case is because women don't consider having equality unless they have like a woman president. Even if that woman president went against everything feminism stood for, it would be better than a man who gave feminists everything they wanted. It's part of the propaganda machine. All right, let's figure out where these things are. They disappeared. And that's part of the propaganda that male feminists are given. It's basically the topic that the honey badgers were going after is how women use men for their own political end, for their own movement. Men are basically foot soldiers. It's more used as, well, look at this man that we have in our movement, and not so much as, this is an equal person in our movement helping us. It's like you go out there and you start yelling at all the other men because you're responsible for the fact that they're not feminists. You're responsible that they're not one of us. And that's the basic truth of it. I'll have them go out just a little bit further. It seems strange that they jump down here and then they disappear. I guess they were going to another part of the ship. I don't know. Well, maybe it was a tactic to try to get me to draw me out, and I failed that tactic of theirs. Oh, now I got them angry. I really thought I'd be dead by now, by the way. I thought the video would be over, but... Oh, I don't want to kill... Well... Might as well. Put it out of its misery. I bet you that decision's going to come back to haunt me. And there's my regret. Oh, no. Other things that were stated was basically access to not birth control, access to abortion, which I'm like, you already have access to abortion in this country. There are groups within the United States that are trying to limit your access to them, but you do have that right of abortion in this country. Other things were stated like birth control being on your health insurance. Actually, I think that's one thing that should happen. And I get some debates on this from other members of the MRA. That they don't think that women should have that because technically men don't have that either. The what am I thinking? The drugs for erectile dysfunction seem to be covered, but not female birth control. And I even would argue that if birth control is not on insurance, then perhaps erectile dysfunction shouldn't be. But that just happens to be my personal opinion on the subject, and not necessarily one that's shared by many others. Well, stop bitching about it then. People in hell want ice water. Let's do a reload real quick. Let's go ahead and reload you. So equal representation in Congress, which is bullshit anyways, because that doesn't really mean anything. Access to birth control on insurance plans, which is something that I happen to agree with. What was some other things they stated? The wage gap issue, which I told them, look, you know, there are laws that prohibit women from making less than men. And if you're making less than a man right now, go talk to a lawyer because you shouldn't be. So I think with this, I'm going to kind of end this here. I hope you enjoyed this little bit. Unfortunately, this is kind of a long mission, so it's not like something I can complete and then kind of show you some of the background stuff that I do, which is kind of good because I do a lot of back end things to help me understand how good my soldiers really are. It's like overly complicated, like I do, where it's like you have based on your rank, the number of kills you have, the number of missions you do, I determine what color armor you have, and I have like 25 different shades that people go through for me to determine how much better they are than another person. So when I look at them, I'm like, oh, I know how good that person is and how long that person's been with me. Plus, the different helmets represent the different classes that I've set for them. That's why some of them were different. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. We'll go ahead and stop the screen share. This is Mad Cat signing off.